Hello, how are you? Let's hope you are doing fine. We are back again. Today we are going to look at equations. So you should understand what is an equation. If we look at what we looked at last time, the lesson 5, we looked at the how to expand. So today we are going to look at the equation. So what are equations? So an equation is just an expression with the equal sign. An equation is just an expression with the equal sign. So make sure that you watch this video to the fullest so that at least you can understand the concept. And don't forget, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss the other lessons that are coming. So let's try to write some notes as usual. And before we write some notes, I would like just to remind some of you, if maybe you have not managed to have a book, these are lessons. These are lessons. You don't just need to watch them. Try to get the book, because we are going to give you all the topics from grade 10 to grade 12. We are going to give you all the topics. So make sure that you have a book. You are going to enjoy our channel as we move on. So let's write some notes now. Let's try now to look at what an equation is. We are saying an equation is an expression with the equal sign. An expression with the equal sign. So what makes an equation? For you to call an equation, for you to call an expression an equation, you are supposed to have what we call the equals. So this equals here, for example, this equals here makes this statement to be equation. So if we had just something like 3x plus 2 plus maybe 4, this is not an equation. Why? We don't have the equals here. So if you just have equals and an equal sign, that makes the statement to be an equation. So wherever you see equals, just not to say they are talking about an equation. Now, how do we solve an equation, or how do we differentiate? If you are to simplify an expression and if you are to solve an equation. So let's look at this. Here we still have to collect the like terms. So if you are collecting the like terms, we are saying this 2 is going to join the 4 there. So now, this 2, it has the positive. Then if it goes to the other side of the equals, it's supposed to change the sign. So that is a law. If the number is a number or n term moving from right hand side going to the left hand side of the equation, is supposed to change. If it's positive, it will become negative. If it's negative, it will become positive. So moving from left going to the right, or moving from right going to the left. So if the number or the term is positive, it's supposed to change the sign. That is a concept that you should take under this equation. So if we are to take these 2, we're going to have 3x, then the equals, because we want to remain with x only. Then we have a 4. Then the 2 here going the other side, it will change the sign from the positive going to the negative sign. Then we have 3x is equals to what? Is equals to 2. When you are solving an equation, we are making x the subject. We want this x to have the coefficient of 1. So how can we remove this 3? We can only remove this 3 by dividing this side by 3, also that side by 3. So that you cancel that 3, you cancel that 3, then you remain with what? You remain with x, which is 3 cannot go into that. So we are going to have 3 over 2 over 3. So this is how we are supposed to solve the equation. So the concept there is, if the number or a term moving from left going to the right, or from right going to the left hand side, it is supposed to change the sign. And the sign we are talking about, we are just talking about 2 signs, the positive sign and the negative signs. So having looked at this, let's now look at the examples that we have. We have about 4 examples, so let's look at them. So So let's look at the solutions here. How many terms do we have? We have this term, and this term. So we have 3 terms. So you have to look for the like terms. So these 2x just alone. Then we have a number and a number. These are like terms. So what we need to do, when you are collecting the like terms, you make sure that all the terms with the variable, they are on one side of the equation. Then the numbers, the numbers without variables, they are also the other side of the equation. So this side, you are going to drop 2x because it's just alone. Then you bring the equals. Then what you already have there, you already have the 7. Then take note of that this 3 is negative. So going from, this is the left, the right hand side. So moving from left, going to the right hand side, this 3 which is negative, it is going to change the sign. Then it becomes positive. Then this is 2x, you drop it. This is just the addition, 7 plus 3, you get 10. Then we want to remain, as I said on the first example, we said if you are solving the equation, it's different from where we were simplifying, where when you reach 2x plus 10, we said these are unlike terms, they cannot be added. You just end there. But for the equation, you can't end there. If you end there, they are just going to give you the marks for the method, but the answer, this is not the answer. This is not the final answer. You need to remove these 2. But how can we remove these 2? You can remove these 2 by only dividing 2 this side and 2 this side. Then we cancel this, we cancel that. We are going to have the x, then you divide that into that. We are going to have the 5. This is the final answer. You should make sure that the coefficient there is positive 1. Always the coefficient of the variable that you are solving is supposed to be the positive 1. So this is how you are supposed to answer. Yes, let's hope you have gotten the concept. So if you enjoyed the lesson, please make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss other lessons that are coming. So let's try to look at question B. Question B, if you look at this one, we have brackets. Then when you have brackets, what are you supposed to do? First, you should make sure that you expand. How do we expand? From the previous lesson, we said expansion. To expand is to remove the brackets. So how do we remove the brackets? You only remove the brackets by multiplying the number or a term or even the sign that you have outside the bracket with all the terms that are inside the brackets. So in this case, what we have outside is 3. Then inside we have y plus 2. So what we are going to do here, we are going to multiply positive 3 by y, also positive 3 by positive 2. So you say that times that, 3 times y, you get 3y. Positive 3 times positive 2, you get positive 6. Then equals the 11 that we have there. Again, if you look at this one, we have 3 terms. We have 3y, positive 6, and positive 11. So what are the like terms there? You can see that the positive 6 and the positive 11, they are numbers, no variables. So they are like terms. So what are you supposed to do? You are supposed just to take this 6 so that this 3y will remain the left hand side. You just take 6 the other side so that it will change the sign. So this is 3y, then you introduce the equals, the 11, then the 6 being positive coming the other side to change the sign, it will remain like negative 6. So this is 3y is equals to 11 minus 6. We are going to get the 5. As I said from this one, we said we can't end there because this is an equation. An equation you can't end there. You have to divide both sides by 3, by 3, by 3. Then there you have 5 over 3 as your answer, or some you would like to leave your answer in mixed fraction. So you can say 3 into 5, you have 1, remainder 2 over 3, and that is your answer. But the emphasis here is, what are we dividing both sides? We are not dividing both sides by the smaller number, no. The number that is having a variable, or the number that is having a letter, that is the number that we divide both sides. Take note of that. In a case where you have 10x is equals to 7, here the number, 10x is equals to 7. Here the number that is having a letter is 10. So even if 10 is bigger than 7, we are going to divide both sides by 10 by 10. Why are we dividing? The concept there is we want to remove this. Once we remove this, we remain with x. So when you are dividing both sides, check the number that is having a letter. It's a 1 that you are supposed to divide both sides. So let's look at question C now. So question C, what are we supposed to do there? We have the brackets. So again, we are supposed to multiply this -2 by what we have in the brackets so that we can expand. We can remove the brackets. Don't subtract. That's a mistake that you can make. Don't subtract. We go to what we call BODMAS. You are supposed to open the brackets first. Remove the brackets before you do anything. Don't subtract. Don't say 4 minus 2. You get a 2. Then you have something like that. That is totally wrong. Don't do that. I'm sure my students you are following, you won't disappoint me, because I want to be very happy to see a student who have been following this channel failing such equations. Don't subtract this. Make sure that you remove first the brackets before you start including the 4. So this 4, we are just going to drop it. Then you use -2 to multiply the brackets. Take note of that. When you're multiplying a negative times a positive there, you're going to have a negative. 2 times x, you get 2x. Then negative times positive again. From the multiplication lesson, we said the negative times a positive, we get a negative. 2 times 1, you get a 2. X minus 5. Don't just multiply -2 by x. Multiply this number outside the bracket with all what we have inside the brackets. So here now we have to correct the like terms. As I said, make sure that you drop what you have. How many terms do we have there? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this number you drop it. Then what like terms do we have for 4? We have +2. And +2 is not crossing the equal sign. It's already on the left part of the equals. So we are just going to bring it. It won't change the sign. The sign is only changing when the number is moving from, is crossing, is going to the other side of the equals. So in this case, the -2, it won't change the sign. Then what you have, we also have -5. Now -5 is on a right part. Then coming to the left part, it is going to change the sign. Being negative, it is going to become positive. Then after you write all the numbers, you have to introduce the equals so that you have the terms with the letters, the other side of the equation. So you have x there, then 2x being negative, going to the right hand side, because you can see there is a equals. Then this 2 is going negative, 2x is going the other side of the equals, so it is going to change the sign. This minus that, 4 minus 2, you get a 2 plus 5 equals x. We have the coefficient of 1. This is what we said. If you didn't watch the first video that you have, make sure that you watch all the videos that we have given you. So this will give you 3x. This plus that, you get the 7 is equals to 3x. This is over 3 over 3. So the final answer, we'll write it here. X equals 7 over 3, or you can write it in the mixed fraction. That into that we have 2 remainder 1 over 3. So this is your final answer on question C. Let's now look at question D. Yes, question D now. What are we supposed to do? Let's hope you know now what we are supposed to do. So as you are watching, give us your answer. What are we supposed to do there? Yes, very correct. I know my students, you are very intelligent. You are following us. So what you are supposed to do there, you have to open the brackets. Then we know what to follow. So here we are going to open the brackets by multiplying 5 times k, again 5 times negative 2. So 5 times k, you get 5k. 5 times negative 2, you get negative 10, then equals. Again, the other side of the equation, positive 2 times or what we have inside the brackets. So positive 2 times positive 2k, you get 4k. Then positive 2 times positive 1. Make sure that you follow the signs when you are multiplying. You get positive what? Positive 2. Then there, what are we supposed to do now? We are supposed to correct the like terms. Let's try to count the terms that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to collect the like term. So we have 5k here. You drop it. The like term to this one is positive 4k. So positive 4k, it's on the left hand side, on the right hand side, sorry. So it is coming to the left hand side. Then it's positive, going to change what? The sign and become negative. Once you write all the terms that are having the letter, make sure that you introduce the equals before you write the numbers that are not having the letter. So what are we remaining with that side? We are remaining with positive k, positive 2. Then that positive 2, you just drop it. Then you take the positive, the negative 10, the other side of the equation. So because it's on the left hand side, then it is going to join the 2. Then it is going to change what? The sign. So it is going to have positive what? Positive 10. Very simple. 5k minus 4k. 5 minus 4, you get 1k. Now, I said we don't write a 1. 1 is supposed to be invisible. 1 if we have a mumupashi. Very good. So, that is positive k equals that plus that. We get the what? The 12. Because 2, you add the 10, you are going to get the 12. So, these are lessons. Let's hope you have enjoyed the lesson, didn't you? If you have enjoyed the lesson, don't forget to subscribe so that you start receiving the interesting lessons that are coming. Thank you very much for watching this video. Watch out for the next lesson. We're going to look at equations involving fractions, where you have an equation and the fraction, that is the fraction as well. What are we supposed to do? Watch out for the next video that is coming. The lesson is coming for you. See you next time. Thank you.